Yeah, exactly, Arpia. Complaining your dad left you a flare gun and a tank when some people's dad just left. Yeah, Dad's gonna come back from picking up that milk and cigarettes any day now, though. Don't worry.
I'll cut to the chase. Here's your mission. The Great Vassal Bridge was just taken by the Empire. It's a key strategic position.
The Great Vassal Bridge?
It's a major drawbridge crossing the canal in Vassal, just outside the capital.
That bridge is a part of the central transit artery, leading into Randgreaves. Our mission is to take it back. The Empire has been running a blitz, with their shock troops outrunning their defense. Our 3rd Regiment will retake the bridge before defensive reinforcements can arrive.
How quaint. The militia holding a little strategy meeting of its own.
Chat, there aren't a whole lot of characters in this game that I really hate. But god damn, John DiMaggio did a great job making this guy. Oh my god, all I can do when I hear him, when I see him, is I'm like, I want to punch you in the face until air stops coming out of it. Like that. Don't worry, chat. If you don't know, you're gonna find out.
How long were you planning on hiding out in here, Verrot?
My apologies, sir. We'll depart soon.
Whatever. They're just country mice. It's not like they'll be much help.
More help, perhaps, than your army unit that couldn't hold the bridge in the first place.
Mama's got some sass.
Hey!
Regardless, Vassal remains a critical position. We'll reclaim it immediately.
Well, good. See that you do.
Who was that?
General Damon, commander of the Central Forces.
Central Forces? That's the army branch the militia was folded into, right?
That's right. They say the general's an aristocrat. He looks down on the common militia.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Now that the war's begun, we all need to band together and fight to keep Gallia safe. Who cares at this point whether you're in the army or the militia? It's ridiculous.
Gentlemen, let's return to the mission. We'll begin by taking back the western bank to gain a foothold for reclaiming the bridge. Lieutenant Gunther, I'm assigning Squad 7 to this mission. It's your first maneuver, so be smart.
Yes, Captain.
The other squads are on patrol. Stay sharp and be ready to help take back the bridge. I'm counting on all of you out there. Now move out.
Ah, well there we go. As if to highlight. The Skirmishes tab is now available. Unlike those within the main storyline, the battles found under Skirmishes tab can be played any number of times. Perfect for amassing experience and research fees. Try them if you're feeling underpowered. Press the Y button, open the menu, choose the skirmishes, blah blah blah. New skirmishes are added as you progress through the main plot, and the difficulty of each skirmish can be set freely. Just be careful though. Though not a plot battle, soldiers lost during skirmishes can still die. Not yet. You can win this battle in one turn if you scout cheese it. I'm not going to, but you can.
Here are details on the current operation.
So we'll assign squadrons in these positions split between a city team and a riverside team. The city team will protect the base camp while the riverside team strikes the enemy. Your objective is to occupy the enemy's camp. Defeat the enemy units defending the camp and then get to the flag hung above their camp to occupy it. Beginning with this operation, you'll be responsible for assigning your soldiers to their combat positions. Before commencing the operation, choose the position unit's command to view a list of deployable units. Once you've selected a unit you'd like to deploy, choose the position you want them to take. Intelligence reports say that they have tanks stationed in the city area there. It will behoove you to include an anti-tank unit on the city team to facilitate its neutralization. I would also recommend you add units with high AP, such as scouts and engineers, to your Riverside Strike Force. Once you've got your teams in place, select the deploy command to begin the operation. Now it's time to get those soldiers of yours into position. So here's another thing that I don't particularly like about this version of Valkyria Chronicles, and that is you don't get any intel on the enemy at the beginning. So at this point, where I'm wanting to deploy people, like, I don't know what units are here. I don't know what units these groups are up against. I can't even really see the terrain. So they give you the option to position your units however you want, but then they don't really give you enough information for that to matter. Now, if you're like me and you know the missions and you know what's going to happen, that makes it a little bit easier because you already know. But if you're going in blind for the first time, it's like, okay, well, do I put my anti-tank units here? Do I put them on the riverside? You know, like, they give you some pointers here at the very beginning, but as you get deeper into the campaign, they don't really give you enough information to know, like, where you should be putting what types of units. And I don't know if that's... Well, I know you don't have aircrafters, but it's like, when I'm deploying in a situation where we're literally within visual contact of the enemy, I feel like I should have a little more control over who I'm deploying and where. Again, I don't expect perfect intel, but the fact that, like, again, at the beginning, they kind of give you some information and say, well, we know there's a tank in the city, and we know we're going to need more mobility on the riverside. Like, that's good. I can work with that. But later on in the game, they just don't do that. Like, they don't give you any information, so you know nothing. You just have to deploy your troops and be done with it. So, like, the fact that they go from giving you very sparse information to then giving you no information at all, I think is a failing. And again, it's not a deal breaker. Like I said, still one of my favorite games of all time. But I do feel it's important to point out those criticisms of, like, this could have been done better, and more importantly, it is done better in later games. But with that said, we know Largo is the guy that's going to be here. He's our main Lancer guy. So we want to put people here that are going to be good with Largo. Unfortunately, we can't put Rosie. She's another one of the main characters because she's on the Riverside team. So we'll have to put some other folks instead. Unfortunately, I don't think... I mean, aside from Jan, I don't think anybody else is like is a Largo stan. So here's what I'll do. We'll put Jan with him, and then I'll give him a couple of shock troopers. I mean, Wendy likes boom, and I mean, it makes sense to put her on the side where all the boom is gonna be. Let's see. Sure, let's do Jane, and then I can't just... Do I want a scout, or do I want an engineer on the side? Decisions. Honestly, I feel like a scout is probably the better choice. So... we don't really have any team synergy, so I'll just put Wavy here. And I want to have an engineer to accompany the tank, so... I mean, we gotta do Homer, right? Homer, the boy who wants to die. Travis says, alright, have to run away to attend a meeting of fellow LEGO nerds. I'm a real adult. Well, glad to hear that you finally grown up, Travis. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. Enjoy your LEGO nerd shit. And we will hopefully catch you on the next one. Yeah, Homer is the boy who doesn't want to live. Homer is the boy who does not want to live. Alright, Chad, I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Let's do it.
We're prepared to commence the operation. I look forward to good news from you.
Split into 2 teams, offensive and defensive. Squad 7, move out! All right, it's our first mission. Let's split into 2 teams, City and Riverside. I'll lead the Riverside team towards the enemy encampment with the Edelweiss.
Shock Trooper here. Leave the offense to me.
City team, your job is to guard the base. Be ready for anything, including tanks.
How long you think I've been an anti-tank man? Couple of tanks ain't no sweat.
That's a spirit, Largo. Now, let's move out!
Listen closely. This information could save your life.
About occupying camps. Camps found across the battlefield grant your forces a number of advantages. Units stationed near camps get a boost to their defense and to the amount of HP recovered at the start of each turn. Even tanks, which usually get no HP bonus, will regain some HP at each turn's start. Weapons with limited ammo like grenades, mortars, and lances are also replenished. If there are enemy units around a camp, however, you cannot occupy it until they've been defeated. Effectively defending your camps while taking down the enemies will pave your way to victory. In other words, capture the flag. 2005 Afghanistan, they started dropping Legos on us that year. Wait, is that actually a thing? Alright. So that's their enemy camp. Well, let's get this party started.
Here we go!
Unfortunately, I gotta be very careful not to destroy the sandbags, although technically it doesn't really matter.
Pay attention to the enemy's firing range.
Guess what time it is?
It's just beyond the next corner.
Get wrecked, nerd. So yeah, that's what happens when you hit somebody with a tank. It doesn't kill them. It doesn't even hurt them. It just knocks them to the side.
Hurry it up. They won't wait for us.
Let's see. Can I reach this donkey with the mortar? Yeah, I didn't think so. I've kind of put myself in a really poor position to actually be able to defend the tank. Although, to be fair, these are just scouts, so they can't really do shit. But I literally can't hit them. This is the maximum depression of the barrel, chat. Alright. So we take a 1 in a million shot. I don't think we're gonna hit that shot, chat. I don't think we're gonna hit. I gotta try it now. Unless, I mean, I could fire the mortar at the wall and maybe the splash damage will hurt the scouts. But I'm not 100% sure. I gotta remind myself, Chad, like, I know the chance. I gotta see if we can hit him with the mortar, though.
Fire!
Okay, we did get a little splash damage. I'll take it.
Who are these guys?
I will take it. Alright. Let me see. So we got a shock trooper up there.
I'm on it.
And here's Rosie, the goat.
Take him.
When it comes to shock troopers, Rosie is the goat. She does not fuck around.
Here I come.
Nice work. Keep taking them down.
Let's see.
Body's yours to use.
Again, Homer, you got some issues, my friend. That's just explaining grass and ladders, which we already knew about grass, but ladders is a new mechanic that we haven't necessarily been introduced to yet.
I'm under fire.
I don't... I'm gonna take some shots, and we're probably not gonna get a kill on this, but I'm still gonna take some shots anyway, just to do some damage. Let's maybe not go any farther than that. Engineers are extremely weak, so if he does start taking fire, he's basically toast.
My turn, okay? Enemy sighted!
Look out
Well.
for attackers from the alleys.
This is why scouts matter, Chad. This is why scouts matter. I
Now!
completely forgot about that. And Kodiak Doug says, can't disagree with the title of the stream. I mean, you're free to disagree if you like, but you're also free to be wrong.
Defend the base camp at all costs.
This is, in fact, the greatest franchise of all time, and I will fight anybody that says otherwise. Alright, let's see. Alright, I got it. I got it. We're not gonna be too crazy here. We just need to defend this base. I don't know, I get what you're saying, Kodiak. I'm just saying, if you said anything different, I would tell you you're wrong.
Just try to stop me. Give me a dirt road any day.
Yeah, child
I
of
can
nature.
see you.
She does not like it. I mean, I guess technically I could try to take a shot, but we're like way out of the effective range of this weapon, so like we're not gonna do shit. I'm still gonna take the shot though. Hooray, we did 8 damage, Chet. 8 whole damage. That's why effective range matters.
Yeah?
Largo, you can take some hits. So here's what I'm gonna do. And yes, now gifting a sub to Kodiak Doug. Thank you, yes, now for the gifted sub. And Kodiak, welcome back into the cult of bad tactical decisions. Always glad to have more converts. I'm sure at this point you already know where the ecto cooler is, so I'll leave you to it.
Just watch this.
Oh, I'm watching, Daddy. Yes, I already know what's gonna happen.
Take cover behind sandbags when possible.
Chad, I'm gonna do something stupid. As long as I hit him, it's a kill. we're probably not gonna hit him. I'm still gonna take the shot anyway.
You're done!
Yeah, I didn't think so. And there's the reaction fire. There's the reaction fire.
The front lines made enemy
Look
contact.
at
Support
this.
them.
He is just a magnificent specimen.
Defend the base camp at all costs.
Just look at he is all man.
Follow me.
He is all man, Chad. Alright, I think this turn I want to... I mean, we really need to get our scout from out of the open here.
I'm on my way. I'll hold this point at any cost.
So we'll just do this. Again, we just gotta defend the base. Go ahead and take your shots, Wavy. You're probably not gonna get the kill, but take the shot anyway. Just in case. Oh, shit!
Your orders, sir.
My
Enemy
man!
unit neutralized.
My man is out here putting in that work. And that's why you don't charge scouts into machine guns. Oh yeah, for sure, Kodiak. I mean, again, I'm well aware of all the cheese tactics and everything like that, but I'm playing the game as intended. Are you gonna gun my mans down? Oof. That's a big oof.
Help me.
About medics. Good timing. Unit 2's HP has reached 0, fall to the ground in critical condition, and cannot be controlled using command points. Leaving a unit in this state for 3 turns or allowing an enemy to touch them results in their being incapacitated. Except in very exceptional cases, this means the soldier is dead and unable to be used again. In other words, if they don't have plot armor, they're dead. And by plot armor, I mean if they don't show up in the main story cutscenes, they die. So like Alicia, Rosie, Largo, they're immune from actually being dead. But every other soldier, well, pretty much every other soldier, is, if they get incapacitated, air quotes, then they're dead. In order to prevent this, an ally must make contact with the downed unit before this tragic end befalls them. When a unit reaches an ally in critical condition, they call the medic, who safely evacuates them and restores them to health, and her name is Fina. I have no idea why I couldn't remember that. But yeah, this is the third character from Skies of Arcadia. This is the third corner of the triangle of the main characters. And she is the medic for Squad 7. Oh, really? Really? Fucking cheese dick motherfucker. That's alright, you got yours. You got yours, you piece of shit. About leader units, here we go. Now they're finally gonna explain it. The command point symbol is displayed beside the name of some units on their profile window. You can also tell them apart because they're different colors. These units are known as leaders, and they exist among both allied and enemy forces. In Squad 7, Alicia is one such leader. So are Rosie and Largo. By including them on the field, they'll each add 1 CP. God damn it, I told myself I wasn't gonna say it, and I said it. They will each add 1 command point to your total, allowing you to control more units per turn. If a leader is defeated, however, the command point is subtracted from the pool. So, again, I already explained this, but this is the game tutorializing it for you. Keep your leader units protected while actively seeking out and destroying enemy leaders to reduce their command point pool. Alright, they're giving up that last command point. Well, not giving it up, but... About orders. As Squad 7's leader, Welkin is able to issue special commands called orders. Orders cost 1 command point to use, but some yield squad-wide effects that can be invaluable when used wisely. To issue an order, open the menu in the command mode by pressing the Y button, then select orders. No shit! Choose a specific order you'd like to issue. Some orders affect all units, others require you to select a target. New orders can be learned by leveling up your unit classes on the training field. They'll make the battles ahead easier. Not always. Let's see, what do we have? Is it just the evasion boost? Yeah, we don't have any other orders. I don't need an evasion boost. The most evasive character I had just got gunned down. Thanks anyway, game.
Here we go!
Don't worry, chat. When they said touch, they didn't mean it had to be infantry.
Go, go!
Yes, that's right. I'm about to save Alicia by running her over with a tank.
Medic!
Don't you worry. I'll take care of it.
Alicia! Alicia! Stay with me!
Correct. Tank medic.
Piloting the Edelweiss to me.
Come on, baby.
Enemy sighted!
There we go.
Gallian unit sighted.
Don't really have much else that we can do here, but that's all right.
Time to think.
Could I maybe? I mean, that's like a 1 in a million shot. Oh well, never mind, because we can't actually. I moved a little too far forward. We can't actually see through there. All right. Well, unfortunately, I can't really do much. That sucks. Why does it have a booster in the back? It's not a booster. It's a radiator. Because of the blue magic rod. Or, I don't know, maybe it's a metal. They don't really explain it. I mean, I could mortar, but I had nothing to shoot at. Let's see. Who do I want to... You know what?
I'm on it.
We need some intel.
New target sighted.
Okay, that's intel. Get wrecked, nerd. Mwah.
Good work. Keep it up.
Unfortunately, my girl is a little bit exposed at the moment. Not like that. Get your head out of the guard. Alright. I'm gonna do something dumb, chat. Because it turns out I'm not a particularly smart person, but I'm gonna do something stupid.
I see an enemy.
Oh, hi, Mark. We're just gonna...
They're after me.
There we go. I just didn't want him somewhere where he could get hit. Or somewhere where it would be harder for him to get hit. You know, for a dude who wants to die, he's pretty good at the other half of that equation. See, so we can see the tank. We can see everything else.
Please keep the enemy's position in mind.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm gonna hold what we got here. Gonna hold what we got.
You got it, hon.
This is your moment, Jan. This is your moment.
Does this alley work?
This is your moment. You can do it.
Die for me, sweetie.
I love it.
Who are these guys?
Alright, we're gonna hide right in here for now. God damn it, Jan. There we go. And then... trying to decide what the best move is here. I kind of want to hold what we got on the base. Yeah, let's move the... we're gonna move the Edelweiss again.
Here we go!
Yeah, Largo is the best Lancer, but Jan is a close second. Jan
Enemy
is great.
sighted!
Jan is fucking great.
Does this alley work?
Ah, there you go. There's the coax machine gun that you don't get to see very often, unless your people are getting shredded by it.
Look out for attackers from the alleys.
Guess what time it is, bitches? It's time to suck 82mm mortar.
Man down. Everybody be careful.
Alright. I mean, I guess I could move Rosie. Just to actually get her behind some cover so she's not, like, standing out in the open waiting to get blown up by a tank. Although, to be fair, I did just destroy the cover that I had planned to move her up to. So that maybe wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done. But I'm not very smart, so it's okay. Alright, we'll just hold what we got. Yeah, they exploded. I mean, that's what mortars are for. Do enemies just shoot at you until you enter aim mode? Yes, Oxford. It's part of what they call return fire. And that happens during the movement phase, so it can work to your advantage. What you'll see as we get later in the campaign is a lot of times, especially with the scouts, as soon as the enemies start taking damage, they immediately just stop and do whatever they're doing. And they do that because they don't want to lose that trooper. But yeah, the return fire continues until you either aim or until you end your turn. And they do that so that you're not just running around doing random stuff and, like, it stops you from just, hey, I'm gonna run straight at this person, get 3 inches away from him and shoot him in the head. I mean, you can still kind of do that sometimes, but it cuts back on that because you have to worry about taking hits.
Minor damage sustained.
Is that all you got? And here it comes, Chet. I mean, this is a scripted event, and yes, I knew it was gonna happen.
Gah! Damn tank's busted right through the stinking wall!
That's okay, Largo. You are the man for the job.
Well, it's my turn now! Stick this in your pipe and smoke it!
Stay sharp. Tanks can break through crumbling walls and trample down sandbags and trees.
You and your damn mortars. The tanks really do like their mortars. But that's okay. That's okay. About ammunition, in case you didn't know how projectile weapons work. Each weapon holds a set quantity of ammo that equates to the number of times that the weapon can be fired in battle. Write that down, chat. Write it down. For example, if the ammo reads 3, that weapon can be fired 3 times before it's out of ammo and therefore unusable. Chat, are you taking notes? This shit's important. Weapons with limited ammunition include anti-tank lances, sniper rifles, grenades, mortars, other explosives, and so on. Yeah, they also limit the ammo on snipers because otherwise, like especially towards the end of the game, when you start getting really good snipers with extremely accurate weapons, if they had unlimited ammo, you could just sit back at the starting point and just snipe everybody. So to discourage that, they give snipers limited ammo. There are 3 ways to regain spent ammo. One is to wait a turn. Each turn, 1 use worth of ammo is restored automatically. The second is recovery by proximity to an allied camp. Units standing within camps are restocked to full capacity each turn. The third is restocking via an engineer unit. Every ally an engineer makes contact with will be restored to full capacity. Keep these reloading methods in mind and watch on remaining ammo levels to ensure your squad never comes up short on ammo. So that's the other thing that engineers do.
Entering combat.
You know what time it is, chat.
Hostile sighted.
Defend the base camp at all costs.
Right in the tailpipe.
Now!
Yeah, exactly, Kodiak. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil her, but yes, there is, like, who is essentially the best sniper in the game, named Varina. And she eventually gets a skill called Ultimate Accuracy that basically triggers every turn, and it makes her circle into a dot.
Make sure we control the high ground.
I'm actually not going to do that, because then my people can't get over the sand.
My leg.
But we can use the tank as cover. And Red Tips rolling in the chat saying, how's it going? Good to see you again, Red Tips. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Hopefully the weekend is treating you well. And so far we're doing alright, playing a little bit of Valkyria Chronicles at request of the folks on Discord. I gave them some options about what they wanted to see me play, and this is what won, so here we are. And it's no coincidence, of course, that Valkyria Chronicles is my favorite franchise of all time. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. Going back, playing through it, gushing like a fangirl over every little thing. So it has been a while since I played this game, so it's been fun to go back and relive it. And of course, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. Troubleshooter, once again. Slapping Red Tips in the face with a gift sub. Thank you, Troubleshooter, for the gift sub. And Red Tips, welcome back into the cult of bad tactical decisions. You know where the Ecto Cooler is, so I'll let you grab it on your own. But we're always glad to have folks brought back into the fold of the cult. Alright, let's see. First, we got a tank to deal with.
Just watch this.
Oh, I'm watching, Daddy.
Keep an eye out.
Watch this.
All right.
Just
Who are these guys?
the manliest of men, Chad.
We'll be there in a minute. Hold out till then.
The manliest of men. How much Octo Cool? I mean, we started with 10 tons of the mix. And we did some math, and I forget what we came out to, but it was something like 20,000 glasses or some shit. Like, it was some insane amount of glasses of Ecto Cooler. So, it ain't running out anytime soon. Are the people in that tank okay? I mean, the entire tank has disappeared. So I'm gonna say, probably not. Alright, I think it's time for our shock troopers to get some action. Gonna have the shock troopers do what shock troopers do best. Charge into enemy fire and shoot some dudes. You got this, Wendy. 2 shots, that's all you need. You can do it.
You're gonna get shot.
He is indeed gonna get shot, Chad.
Yay.
Enemy unit neutralized.
Listen, I like Wendy because she has this lovely combination of both excitement and enthusiasm for fighting, But at the same time, she always sounds like she's half asleep. So anyway, I kicked in their door and shot them 37 times.
Get ready to die, imps.
Yeah. Again, it do be like that sometimes. Oh, you done fucked with the wrong woman. You don't even know. You don't even know. Jane, you think you can hit this donkey in the head twice? I think you can.
Die, die, die! Next.
Alright, let's see. This looks like a job
Let's do this thing.
for Rosie.
Here I come. Mwah. Ain't no stopping me.
Man down. Everybody be careful.
Chad, I don't remember what strong will does.
I'm sweeping around from behind them.
You say Jane has some issues. I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news or anything, but there's a lot of people in this squad that have some issues. It ain't just Jane, I promise.
Let's do this thing.
Oh yeah? It's gonna be like that?
Here I come.
Well, there is my retort. Congratulations, you have been rendered into the past tense.
I'm impressed, but not surprised.
And there it is, Chet. There it is. Occupied the enemy camp.
Operation complete. We took their base.
Alright, Arrakis, thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Hopefully you enjoyed some Valkyria Chronicles. Go get yourself something to eat and some rest, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Look at that, chat. B rank ain't bad. B rank is not bad. Ah, here we go. Now you get to meet the person who wrote the book. Nay, we haven't just started. I mean, we're in chapter 3, but I've also been pausing pretty frequently to gush about various aspects of the game, as I am wont to do. So, yeah, we're still pretty early in the campaign. Still got a ways to go. Dumb ragdoll physics never fail to make me laugh. Yeah, like I was saying before, this game originally came out in 2008, so it was right in that peak era of like havoc physics in everything, and just goofy ragdoll on every dead body in every game. So yeah, it's sometimes funny to watch. You even took the time to tell me I missed your big rant. Well, you say that, but not only did I tell you that you missed the big rant, I took time to go on a smaller rant just for you. Haven't tried the sequels, though. I mean, I own all of the games, well. I own all the games, including the one that shall not be named. So yeah, I have extensive experience with this franchise, and I'm a huge fan. Favorite franchise of all time. Uncontested. Oh yeah, I spent like 30 minutes at the beginning of the stream talking about this game and the team that developed it, so. Again, for those of you that weren't here for it, feel free to go back and watch the VOD after the stream's over and indulge in the long-winded rant. Alright, chat, here we go. We're gonna get some cutscenes. Learn a little bit more about what's going on here.
You guys aren't with Squad 7 by any chance, are ya?
Yes, that's us.
Bingo! I've been looking for you. Meaning you, hot stuff, on the tank.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me,
That must make you Lieutenant Gunther, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, that's me.
Oopsie daisy.
What? Hey, you can't...
Ah, nice to meet you too. Now, let's get right to the questions. So, you're the son of the great General Gunther, huh? You look awfully young. How old are you anyway? Must be your first war, huh? What's been the hardest experience so far? Wait, happiest. Funniest. I'd also like to know hobbies, favorite foods, what you do on your days off.
Hey, lady! This is a combat zone. Excuse me, but what are you doing here anyway?
Hey, give me a break, will ya? Scoops are near danger, and I'm near scoops. That's right. The name's Ellet. I'm GBS Radio's top woman reporter. I smell a story, a good story, and you guys are it.
So, you're a reporter?
Very good, I'm a reporter, yes. I've been assigned to Squad 7 to conduct a series of interviews, thank you. Now, let's get back to those questions, shall we?
There you go. Now you've been introduced formally. I mean, you ask if we can keep her. I don't think we have a choice.
Ugh. Now he's giving interviews? Who does he think he is? Ooh, look at him. Son of some big hero. Please. He's still a schoolboy.
No kidding. One little win and he's the new Grand Duke. Ah, I hate kids. Whatever, he'll learn soon enough. Only one thing matters out there in the field, and that's experience.
Chapter 4. Operation Cloudburst.
The Personnel tab is now available, chat. As is the Weaponry and the Glossary. These are 3 tabs. These 3 tabs offer information on the game's cast, the arms they wield, and the things and places that form their world. Open the menu with the Y button, then the tab select, and select the resource you'd like to read. Their contents are automatically updated as you progress through the game's plot, so check back on a periodic basis. Castlefront Street is now available. War Cemetery is now available. Personnel tab has been updated, and a bunch of other stuff has been updated too. Alright, so first of all, I'll show you the glossary stuff. So, it gives you information on all of the people in the game. Right? And as you use these soldiers in combat, for example, we don't know a whole lot about Largo or Rosie, so when I go and I read the dossier that they have on him, we know he's a sergeant, he's 36, he's a lancer. Since his initial conscription during the First War, he survived countless missions, making him the most experienced of the Sevens. But you notice there's a lot of blank space here. As we complete the story, the main character's stuff will fill out on its own. But in order to get the full story of all the rest of the characters, like, for example, Kobe, we have to use them in battle, and we have to upgrade them in the barracks. So the more that you use a soldier, the more that you learn about them. And that incentivizes you to want to play through with different troops and to use more people so that you can learn more about the people that you're fighting with. Like, let's see, Kobe is 65 and a stormtrooper, a foreman for a carpentry company before he joined the militia. His band back is the result of an injury suffered during the First War. So that's your personnel files. But it goes even deeper than that. Because every single weapon and every upgrade for every weapon on both the Gallian side and the Imperial side gets its own entry. Here's the gun. This is the gun. This is your Lee Enfield surrogate in the game. And it gives you a whole fucking thing about this gun. Barrel length, caliber, magazine size, total weight. They went ham with the lore in this game. And it does not shove any of this down your throat. The more you want to know, the more the information is there. I mean, okay, yes, technically it's a Mauser surrogate if you're going by the caliber, but I'm going by the way it looks. It looks like a Lee Enfield, or it's trying to look like a Lee Enfield. But, yeah, it's, again, the lore is there if you want it. Like, it's an extremely deep game, it's an extremely deep setting, but again, it never shoves this down your throat. It's only there if you want to read it. I mean, okay, so if we're gonna go real military nerd here, based on the center of the weapon, it's got some similarities with a Carcano and a Mosin. Based on the front, it's kind of Lee Enfield. The stock is a little bit Mauser, so like, it's a Franken gun. It's not a direct copy of anything, but they took their inspirations from a lot of different places. But it does this for every single weapon. And again, that's on the friend's side and the enemy side. So like, if you're curious about the weapons that the Imperials are using, they give you information on that too. Like at the end, its distinctive axe shape earned it the nickname Francisca amongst its users. I don't even know what that means. I assume it means axe. So that's what I mean when I say this game is so deep. Just in the side lore. Of course, glossary, if you want to know about other things. Different towns, the different nations, how tanks work, what Ragnite is. So, you know, as example, Ragnite. As Europa's primary energy source, this ore has become vital to daily existence. It luminesces a characteristic blue hue when releasing the energy it contains. Mined primarily in mountainous regions, the raw ore is refined for use in any number of applications. Though the ore's existence was known in ancient times, it was not until the Valkyria brought their refinery technology to Europa that its use began. Since the Industrial Revolution, it's become a vital ingredient to human civilization. A surging need for tank fuel and weaponry derived from the ore has recently driven Europa's nations to expanding their borders in a growing war for resources. And again, they mention some stuff in this entry that you don't know anything about yet. But once you do, and you understand some of the terms that they're not telling you about, it all makes sense. It all fits together. But first, we have to go back to the headquarters chat, because we got a big chunk of money and experience, which means it's time to upgrade the squad. But we also got Castlefront Street. Read the writing on the wall, published regularly. And again, more lore.
Hey, Lieutenant! Off duty today? Your timing's perfect. There's something I want to show you. Won't take but a minute. Come on. Ta-da! It's the writing on the wall, written and published by yours truly. Why do this when I already have a radio news gig, you say? Sure, I could leave it up to the print news guys, but they're all lapdogs. The government censors everything.
Freedom of the press, chat. Freedom of the press. She's fighting for you.
And not just a little cut here and there. In some cases, they'll bend the harsh truth into candy-sweet propaganda.
Q-turn, if I remember right, they don't actually show you any of the sidearms in this game. They do actually cover them in some of the later games, even though you never see them used in combat. Well, I mean, sometimes they get used in cutscenes, but like, you can't equip your units with pistols. But, there are later entries in the franchise where they actually go so far as to give you lore on the sidearms.
I'm so sick of it. I want to give my readers the truth. That includes the bad stuff, too. So, this is my brilliant plan. The writing on the wall. Some things are only possible in out-of-the-way spots like this, out of sight from those government goons.
Hack the planet, chat. We gotta hack the planet.
I'll keep this space filled with up-to-date, absolutely factual info. No censorship. And your exploits will feature heavily, I'm sure. So yeah, come by and have a read sometime.
And so here, we can read news. Which, again, it's just more lore about what's going on in the world. There we go.
And while you're here, I want to put a book out someday, right? To put the truth in the hands of the people.
I don't know if the US is the Federation, though, because the Federation I thought was supposed to be Western Europe. I mean, the Federation, air quotes, the Federation, is just the stand-in for the Allies in this game. And unlike in reality, where the Axis and the Allies were kind of spread out all over the place and intertwined, I mean, here, the Federation and the Empire are essentially contiguous blocks. But, yeah, I mean, I guess the Federation includes what you would call the United States, whatever they call it in the setting. I forget.
But I'm just a radio news grunt, you know? I'll be paying for everything out of my own pocket. So, I figured I'd ask you. Think you could find it in your wallet's heart to help a girl get started? I'd make it worth your while. You guys could feature in the book I write. I still haven't decided what all I want to put in it, but I promise it'll be all about you. See this fat stack of notes? I've got a ton of material already. So how about it? Call it an investment in the future rising star of authordom. Please.
So, Chad, this is important. Because, yes, you're buying lore. But you're not just buying lore. You're buying side stories. You're buying extra cutscenes. In some cases, you're even buying extra missions when you pay for this. So even though it seems like it's just, oh, please pay for more lore, when you pay for this, you're actually getting more game. It's not just a bunch of text. So I'm gonna buy this, and the reason I'm gonna buy it is to demonstrate what I'm talking about.
I plan on putting out new editions periodically, so drop by to check it out often.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's not that the United States is the Federation, but they're part of the Federation. Like, consider it this setting's version of the Allies, or maybe even NATO. I mean, but yeah, it's... The Federation is just an alliance, in much the same way that the Empire, the Imperials, are also an alliance. Even though the game is very reminiscent of, like, Diesel Punk and World War II, at the end of the day, the politics in the game feels more like Cold War, where you have the, you know, essentially NATO and the Warsaw Pact facing off against each other, if those alliances existed 20 years earlier. Implies the Scandinavians were the ones who did the colonization. Possible. But as far as I'm aware, we don't ever meet any characters from the United States in any of the games, so it's hard to say. Yeah, it's alternate anime history.
Especially after you've made some headlines on the battlefield. That's the perfect time to strike. I'm counting on you out there, Welkin. You need to keep me supplied with exciting material.
So that's the lore bits. Now for the war cemetery.
Paying your respects? Sorry. I suppose that was a foolish question.
Actually, no, sir. I'm not here visiting anyone in particular.
Oh. Then might I ask what brings you to a place like this?
I find it sobering, standing here in front of all those who died in the last war. That and seeing this much death reminds me that humans are just another part of nature.
Don't suppose I've ever heard that before. Judging from your clothes, you're militia.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Welkin Gunther. I'm in charge of Squad 7, Regiment 3.
Gunther. I see. Squad leader. Very impressive for a young man.
Not at all, sir. I'm still woefully inexperienced. One wrong order from me and my squad could wind up here. It's a huge responsibility.
You respect the weight of their lives. Here, let me teach you a special order.
An order, sir?
Just a leftover from the last war. I'm afraid my orders require some experience, though.
It might be. It kind of sounds like it.
I can't in good faith teach them to those who lack the maturity to use them properly. Now, let's see. I'll teach you retreat today. Use it to command an injured unit to pull out of combat. Well, what is your decision?
6,500 experience, chat. You get some really good orders from this guy. But this is the other half. So with the newspaper, with the news lady, you get the ability to spend excess money to unlock side stories. Here at the war cemetery, you can spend excess experience to learn new orders. I mean, I'm gonna say yes, but he's gonna be like, you don't have enough experience. Yeah.
I see. I hope we'll meet again. Should you wish, you can likely find me here.
Yeah, some of the orders you get from him, especially towards the end of the game, are really, really good. But like I said, essentially, it depends on how you want to play, right? You can either spend that experience leveling up your troops, or you can spend that experience getting orders to make your troops better in the temporary. Personally, I have not used him very much because, again, I don't use orders that much when I play. I prefer to level up my troops first. But even so, like, that's an additional mechanic that they give you. So they introduce you to the primary ways to spend experience and money, and then after you've done a mission, they say, okay, here's additional ways to spend your money and experience. So speaking of spending money and experience, let's hit the training field, chat. We gotta bust those buns.
Welcome to your worst nightmare, maggots! Train all you want. I've got all day.
Alright, so let's see. I mean, obviously we need to level up our scouts. So let's do that. If we're gonna do that, I mean, we might as well level up the engineers because they're pretty cheap. And lancers wouldn't be too bad either. I'm gonna hold off right now on the sniper just because we're not really using snipers that much. So let's get that training put in.
Bite the bullet!
No pain, no gain!
Something, something, glory to the first man to die.
Good work, maggots! You're one level closer to human. Okay, you've earned clearance for a new order. Put it to good use out there.
You've learned Defense Boost. This order raises one ally's defense. Alright, so we got 3,600 experience left. If we spend it right, we could probably level up 2 more classes. So maybe we go... Man, shock troopers are really good once you fully upgrade them now. I'm not gonna say why. I'll wait until we get there. Can only do Scout and Engie. I mean, that's not the worst combo either. Scouts and Engineers are usually gonna be on the front lines, so... I'm actually okay with that. So let's go ahead and level them up.
I got no use for tears! Sweat! Sweat! Good work, maggots! You're one level closer to human. Looks like that session beat a new
So Scouts got more potentials, Engineers got more potentials. Alright, cool, there we go. Now it's off to the R&D.
Come back anytime you're ready to sweat.
Yeah, all the classes get extra stuff. Like, they get extra kit, they get extra abilities at level 10. I don't want to spoil it. Like, I will say, getting to level 10 is a milestone, and maxing out is a milestone, but I'm not going to say exactly what. Like I said, for those that have already played the game, you already know. But for those that are experiencing it for the first time, I don't want to spoil too much. Alright, now we hit the R&D facility to spend some of these sweet, sweet shekels.
Welkin, bro! I'm stoked you're here, man. What can I do you for?
Alright, what do we got for weapon upgrades? Let's have a look. Nothing, 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 nothing. Alright, so no infantry upgrades.
The time has come.
But we can do some upgrades on the tank. So have I. We can do some upgrades on the tank. And Hamster of Wrath coming up with a big time raid. Good to see you, Hamster and Raiders, once again. Glad to have you on a Saturday. Let's see. I mean, chat, you already know. It's customary. I apologize for the sound. You already know how this goes. But let me give Hamster a shout out. There you go. Looks like you guys were playing some BattleTech once again, so you'll have to tell me how the Inner Sphere / Clan Space was treating you today. But good to see you again, as always. Glad you guys could drop by. Hopefully you had a good stream. As you can clearly see, well, I mean, some of you will recognize this right away, and some of you may not. But we're playing some Valkyria Chronicles today by voted request over on our Discord. I asked everybody what they wanted to see us play since we finished up Project Wingman last stream, and everybody decided well, not everybody, but the majority decided that they wanted to see Valkyria Chronicles, so I figured we'd start out with the original, and we're only at Chapter 4. We've been streaming for 6 hours, and we're only at Chapter 4 because... as the stream title would indicate, this, in my opinion, is the greatest game franchise of all time. And again, for those of you that are curious, I did go on a pretty lengthy rant at the beginning of the stream, so for those of you that already know me, if you want to see that, you can go check out the VOD, go look at the beginning of the stream. I waxed poetic about the game, about the dev team, about the franchise, and about Skies of Arcadia for about 30-45 minutes at the beginning of the stream. I obviously won't go into that now, but I absolutely love this game, love this franchise, love this dev team. Is 100% my favorite franchise of all time, so here we are, playing through it. And Hamster says, Tonks and anime waifu. Indeed, indeed. This is very much a waifu game. Although, to be fair, to be fair, the later games in the franchise double down on all that waifu material. Whereas this game was, it's less about the waifus. I mean, I guess it's really about like the 2 or 3 waifus. Whereas some of the later games in the franchise kind of broadened the waifu horizons, so to speak. Yeah, we're just doing some upgrades. We just finished up our latest mission number 3, and we're doing some upgrades and stuff here before we get stuck into the next chapter. And Troubleshooter, again, wasting no time. We got unsubbed people in chat, and Troubleshooter immediately gifted him a sub this time to Rationox, or Ratnox. I'm not sure how you would pronounce it. I suppose it's Ratnox. Or Ratino X. Listen, I'm not good with words, especially on the internet. So, Ratnox. Okay, good to know. I will try to remember that, but I'm terrible with names. Hamster says, much salvage was had, beat up Clan Wolf a bunch, brain melty. I mean, that's pretty typical, though. I mean, it feels like you're always picking on Clan Karen when you got the chance. But that Clan salvage, that's what pays the bills. Once you're in clan space, all that clan salvage is what pays the bills. So I'm right there with you. I get it. But yeah, good to see you again. Glad to hear that the Inner Sphere was treating you pretty well. Sounds like you had some success, even if it was a little brain melty, but that goes with the territory. I think I picked up the first game in this series. My brain was rebelling when I got it. I mean, it's entirely up to you if you want to play it. I mean, it's not for everybody. I could sit here and explain to you why I think it's the greatest game franchise of all time, but at the end of the day, that's just an opinion. I think it's not just an outstanding game, it's also an outstanding piece of art and an outstanding piece of literature. So if you've already got it, I highly recommend you check it out. Definitely, I would recommend anybody play this, because it's part RPG, part single-player narrative adventure, part tactical game, part strategy game. There's a lot of moving parts, and they all work together pretty well. Again, I wouldn't say it's the perfect game, but it's the perfect game for me. And again, greatest franchise of all time. Oh, Badges, they must be saved. Salvation lies within the sub. Listen. That is some stuff that you guys came up with on your own, and I discourage it. So, you keep that cult nonsense out of the chat, Troubleshooter. Problem was me. Again, that's fair. It's play what you want, but I highly recommend it. It's an outstanding game. It's a lot deeper and more mature than it appears on the surface, and that's what made me appreciate it. Again, if you want the full story, if you want the full rant, feel free to check out the VOD when we're done, and you can see all of what I had to say about it. I've been pausing here and there to take some time and kind of explain what I like about the game and the things, like the criticisms I have, but the things that I love about it too, just to kind of share it with you guys. So if you stick around, you'll probably hear me go off on at least one more tangent before the stream is over. But yeah, this is my jam. This is my jam. And CVEX in the chat as well on a Saturday. Good to see you, CVEX. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully the weekend is treating you well. T-Gap says, keep that cult nonsense out of chat. Here I was wait, you guys have a chant? Have you guys been working on a chant behind my... Listen. If there's gonna be a chant, I'm gonna need to at least sign off on it. I don't want you out here telling people weird stuff. You need to click the follow button. It's so weird having a gift sub without it. I mean... choosing to follow is entirely up to you. Unfortunately, because of some of these doggies in chat, subbing is not necessarily optional, because even if you don't do it, they're gonna do it for you. So, you know, that part's not optional, but the follow is entirely optional. I do appreciate it, of course. Anybody who wants to follow, who wants to sub. I'm never gonna tell you to do that, but if you choose to, I absolutely appreciate it. Ed Hamster says, got a raid and scoot. Gone past midnight, yeah, no, I know how it is, Hamster. I know it's pretty late for you over there in the land of beans and toast. So, glad to have you stop by all the same. Thanks for coming by with you folks. I'll try and take good care of them as always. And I hope you have an outstanding rest. Get you some good food if you can. And have an outstanding rest of your weekend. Not familiar with this game, but looking forward to learning. I'll do what I can. Again, I'm trying to play the game as intended. There's a lot of cheeseball tactics and other exploits that you can do in this game to make it a lot easier. I'm not going to try to do that. I'm trying to play the game the way it was originally intended, so that you guys can get the most authentic experience. Love when Boss goes over small details on things she likes. I do that a lot. I'm sorry. If you don't like that, all I can do is apologize. That's just who I am. Like, when I see things that get my attention, I always feel the need to take the time to appreciate them. I've said before, former games journalist, former writer. I've seen a lot of games. I've reviewed a lot of games, a lot of movies, a lot of TV. And so when things get my attention, it's usually for a good reason. And I think that those things are worthy of bringing to people's attention. I think good work deserves praise. And in just the same way that bad work deserves chastisement. So, you know, when somebody does a good job, I want them to know they did a good job. I mean, obviously, I'm the most important streamer that has ever existed. So I know that everybody at SEGA is out there watching the stream right now. So, obviously, I have to be the ones to praise them, you know, give them head pats so that they know they did a good job. Anyway, chat, we gotta upgrade the tank. So we can do the reinforced barrel, we can do the reinforced body, we can do the reinforced armor. I mean, technically, we can afford all of them. And, considering that we don't have any infantry reinforced or any infantry upgrades available, it might be a good time to just go ahead and splurge and upgrade the tank. So let's just, yeah, there we go. Barrel protector. I think the range applies to the mortar. So we'll go ahead, we'll upgrade the range, we'll upgrade the body, which is going to give us extra HP all around, as well as some additional defense for the treads. And then we'll do the reinforced armor, which is going to give the body some additional defense as well.
All set for you, bro. It's done.
And keep in mind, defense and HP are not the same thing. Defense is damage reduction, where HP is just used to tank damage. So, even though this says body defense plus 30, that doesn't sound like much, but 30 is not an HP value, it's a defensive value. It's a damage reduction. And I don't think it's a 1-to-1 percentage, but it is a damage reduction. So we've actually got enough that we could buy one of these additional upgrades, but let's see what else we have. We got spare tread available, and that's pretty much it. Alright, chat, so we pretty much got a straight either offensive upgrade or defensive upgrade, and I think you guys already know which direction I'm leaning. I'm a firm believer that defense doesn't matter if your enemy is dead. The best defense is a good offense. So anti-armor rounds, an upgrade for the cannon, which is going to make it do 200 more damage versus armor and 60 more damage against personnel. Keep in mind, the average trooper has between 150 and 300 health, so an additional 60 damage is pretty significant. Yeah, dead enemies are the best crowd control. So I'm gonna buy the anti-armor shell. That'll give us a little more damage. There we go. Got some upgrades taken care of, chat.
Come back again.
So now I think it's time to head back to the book mode, which is where the story is. Now you see here, extra episode has been added, as well as some other things. And here we go.
Report. Ellet embedded.
This is what I meant when I said that when you buy the stuff from the newspaper, you're not just paying for, well, in this case you are, but you're actually paying for extra cutscenes, extra bits of story, and in some cases, extra missions. And so this is what helps flesh out the story as you work your way through it. Again, entirely optional, and it does nothing but enrich the experience, but it's not part of the core experience, so they never force you into it. But that's one of the things that I like about the game is the game and the lore and the story are only as deep as you want to go. And Cvex gifting a sub to Chaplin. Chappie, one of the raiders from Hamster Stream. Glad to have you back in the cult, Chappie, as always. And thank you, Cvex, once again for the gift sub. You guys don't have to do that, but I always appreciate it, so thank you for that. And Chappie, at this point, I assume you know where the ecto cooler is, so I'll leave you to help yourself. Given doctrine, the enemy cannot shoot up your armor if they are dead. Likewise, you are stealthiest when there are no living witnesses to say you were ever there. Correct. Take notes, chat. T-Gap understand. He understands. Alright, chat, let's watch some cutscenes. Let's watch this side story. Because again, some of them will have missions. This one does not. It just gives you a little more background. And in this case, it gives you a little more background on the mission that we just did.
Squad 7 of Regiment 3. My first impression, good. Lieutenant Welkin Gunther, squad leader. Next in command, Sergeant Alicia Melchiot. That lieutenant looks softer than I'd expect for the son of the late General Gunther. And her hometown is Brule, same as Gunther. Could be childhood friends. But if I'm lucky, they were childhood sweethearts. We'll just have to find out how close they are. Next on the list, Sergeant Largo Potter and Corporal Bridget Stark. Oh wait, that's right. Stark had a nickname. Gotta jot that down. Goes by Rosie. There. Looks like those two don't trust Gunther much yet. That could be good. Could be really good. Who does that leave? Right, the tank pilot, Corporal Isara Gunther. She's the lieutenant's sister. Now that's strange. She looks Darkson to me. Wonder how that comes into the picture. You couldn't ask for a more colorful crew than that, could you? Something tells me these guys are different than the usual troop somehow. Maybe my keen journalistic instincts? Well then... the truth's not gonna uncover itself. Here I come, ready or not.
Chat, I'm curious who she was talking to. Okay, she was very clearly talking to someone. Correct. Cvex is he knows what's up. The enemy cannot press a button if you disable his hand. Medic.
Oh, there's Sergeant Potter. And Corporal Stark with him. Hey, guys! Mind if I ask a few questions? It'll only take a second.
What, like an interview? What do you want to go interviewing us for?
Aw, come on, big guy. I bet we'd make better topics than some rich kid.
Wonderful. Let's start with you then, Largo. You fought in the first European War, right?
Yeah, I've been a soldier ever since, too. I'm what you'd call a seasoned warrior, see?
Chat, look at his chin. He's got the butt chin. I'm telling you, this man. He is a slab of man. He is the pinnacle of masculinity, chat.
And why did you choose to stay in the Force? Most people try to avoid the soldiering life.
It's an honest living, plus I got my reasons. Besides, I ain't the only one. Look at Elle.
Elle? Who's Elle?
If I had to guess, I'd say Eleanor Virat. Captain Virat, that is. 3rd Regiment. It seems you've got quite a history with her. Care to fill in some details for us?
There ain't no details. Is this the trash you want to write about? Look, I'm a busy guy. I'm out of here.
Chad, I know some of you guys were thirsting for the captain, but... Can you compete with Largo? Because I don't think you can.
Hey, Largo, wait up!
Oh, just let him go. We can have a little chat, just the 2 of us girls. So, Rosie. Can I call you Rosie? Beautiful name, by the way. Do you like flowers?
I used to sing at a bar. It was hardly a flower patch, but my nickname there stuck. Tell you what, though. Some customers came from miles away just to hear me sing.
My. So why's a pretty young songbird with a voice as sweet as a rose so... thorny towards Lieutenant Gunther and all those others?
I just ain't trusting my back to a stinking dark hair is all.
Traumatic past experience with the Darkson leave you bitter, maybe?
Think what you want. I got better things to do than sit around gabbing about him is all. You can put me down as allergic, yeah? Just chatting and I'm starting to feel sick.
Bet she'd spill the beans if you got her riled up enough. Maybe next time. Still, a veteran carrying a torch for his captain and a Darkson-hating chanteuse? They may be cranky, but they're characters.
That's your obligatory fantasy version of racism, Chad. So in case you don't know, because the game doesn't go too much in depth about it, but whenever you see these people with like the bluish, purplish hair, and they have the distinctive kind of shaws and designs, they're called Darksons. And again, the game will get into why they're discriminated against later, but just so you can understand when they're talking about, oh, they're a Darkson, and you're like, what is a Darkson? How do they know they're a Darkson? It's usually the hair that gives them away. It's sometimes, yeah, I mean, they're basically stand-ins for the Jews, but in this case, it's just for discrimination in general. So, again, if you're curious, that's what they're talking about. Again, we will... The game gets into why they're discriminated against later, but I just wanted to point that out because they don't make it very clear at the beginning or at all, really. Yeah, and Kodiak is right. Again, that's kind of a lore thing, though. So, because most people are just, like, talking with first names, you don't really pick up on it, but technically Darksons don't have surnames. Some of them do, like Isara, because she was part of a family and they gave her that surname, but in general, they don't have surnames. So again, just to explain that for the fact that they usually don't.
Boo!
Oh, hello, Miss Ellett. How are you?
A little freaked out now. You didn't even bat an eye at that. You were staring at the sky pretty intently. Something up there we should know about?
I'd like to fly. Well, actually, I'd like to fly my brother.
That doesn't mean what you think it means, Chad. Get your head out of the gutter.
Fly Your brother? Care to expound on that? You don't seem the type to have her head in the clouds. It's very romantic.
I believe myself to be quite logical, really. Too logical, perhaps.
Okay, so if you don't mind my asking, how exactly are you and your brother related? Wait, let's leave that for now. How would you describe your brother as a person?
Welks is... objectively speaking, he can seem a little strange sometimes.
I see. Although I'm a little unsure of what that means, coming from you.
But he is a very kind person, and loyal. Anytime my heritage brought me trouble, he was the first to come to my defense.
I see. Sounds like you really love him, huh?
I would say I respect him a great deal.
Gotcha. Sounds like you lucked out in the sibling department then.
Yes, very much so. That's why I'd like to give him the opportunity to fly.
I'm still not sure I follow that exactly, but we'll leave that for another day. Thanks for your time. Next up, Squad Leader Gunther himself.
Don't worry, small PPC. The mystery does not go unsolved. They do eventually explain.
Hello, hello! Are you ready for your big interview?
Hello, Miss Ellett. Hard at work again, I see.
Didn't you already interview him before?
Oh, Alicia, I wanted to get in a chat with you today, too.
Wait, really? You're going to write an article about me?
Yeah, I will say, for those of you in the chat, again, that might already be familiar with the game and know where it's going and all that, please don't spoil anything, because there are plenty of people in the chat that have never played the game, don't know anything about it. I'm very familiar with the game, obviously, but I want it to be, I guess, a new experience for folks that haven't played it before. I'd like them to be able to enjoy it as much as they can, so do please try to avoid spoilers. The character designer is a hentai artist. This is true. So, for those of you that don't know, the primary character artist for this game is Honjo Raita. And if you don't know who Honjo Raita is, they are a fairly prolific 18-plus author. For those of you that do know who Raita is, that should hopefully just have given you a +1 degenerate cred for me in your book, because yes, I know exactly who they are. With that being said, if you've ever played FGO, that is Fate, Grand Order, on your phone or anything like that, if you're familiar with Minamoto no Raiko, that particular character design, specifically in FGO, Raita is responsible for that character and many, many other characters similar to that. He is the one who did the character designs. Now, the in-game character designs are not one for one. No, it was still Raita. Avelion, it's been Raita for the entire franchise, even up to 4. I mean, Asanagi might have done some art for it, but the primary artist has always been Raita from the very beginning. Also did the... Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, if you're aware of what Katawa Shoujo is, Raita also did the Omake page that inspired Katawa Shoujo. That Raita. Feel free to look them up in your own time. Just be aware that if you look up any of their work, do it in a place where you're not going to get in trouble, because the majority of their work is 18+.
I can't say whether it'll make the paper, but I do have some questions for you. You've been at Lieutenant Gunther's side since you left Brule. Tell me what he's like.
Wait a minute. You want to interview me about him?
I think it's funny that she's sitting here interviewing Alicia about Welkin while Welkin is literally sitting here in the room. It's like, how are you gonna walk up to somebody and be like, I want to interview you, and then immediately start asking them questions about the person next to you as if they weren't in the room? Bruce just says, have to go get some sleep. Thanks for the 6+ hours of stream. Yeah, we are streaming a little longer than usual, but I also really like this game, so it doesn't bother me. But good to see you, Brewster, as always. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out with us. Hopefully you had a good time, and I do hope that we will see you on the next one. Yeah, Welkin is a dork. I've said that already.
Well, let's see. We only met just a few days ago, but... he's a pretty interesting person. You never know what he's going to say next. I see. So, forget he's your boss for a second. What do you think of him as a guy? What? I've never really thought about it. I don't know. Is that so? Well, Lieutenant Gunther, care to comment in her place? Lieutenant, where'd he go?
Huh? Oh, sorry. There was just this crazy-looking bug. I got distracted.
See what I mean? He's an interesting guy, if unpredictable. No kidding. Now, Lieutenant Gunther, I have a couple of questions for you. First up, how do you feel about this war, as the son of a hero from the First European War?
Same as anybody else, I guess. I want it to be over. Are people looking at me as the son of a hero? Well, maybe I am, but I'm still just me.
Okay then, let's talk about you. What are you fighting for?
I feel like the present world is made up of things we've inherited from the past. We get life and a home from our parents, knowledge from our teachers. And not just the good stuff. Take prejudice against Darksons. That's learned behavior.
Uh-huh.
Every creature out there is trying to pass things along to future generations. I want to pass on what I think is right. I'm fighting for the ability to do that.
Thank you very much. That's all I've got for you today.
Great. We're done? I want to get back to that fascinating insect again.
Huh. You really hit the nail on the head. He's as entertaining as he is unpredictable.
Such a dork.
I was planning on moving along to the next squad after interviewing everyone in Squad 7. But I think I'll stick around and learn a bit more about you Sevens, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Just try to stay out of the combat zones, for your own safety.
I'm not making any promises. I go where the scoop takes me. That's just how I roll.
There you go. There's your first side story, chat. Again, like I said, you pay a little bit of additional money for these. They give you a little bit of something to complement the stories that you've already gone through, to complement the chapters that you've already gone through. So you can learn a little bit more about the characters, you can learn a little bit more about the war, and what's going on behind the scenes.